Let's speak now to Peter Zalmayev, Director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. He joins us live from Kyiv. Of all the buildings and structures across Russia, this bridge really was Putin's bridge, wasn't it? How much of an escalation do you think this is against him personally?
Well, we woke up, all of Ukraine woke up last morning, essentially to the words of Ukraine's national poet Taras Shevchenko, down, down, the bridge is burning beautifully. Very uplifting event for all Ukrainians and very, very disheartening for Vladimir Putin. It essentially what happened, demythologizes the great, unvanquished and unvanquishable Russia. First, we saw this withdrawal from Kiev, then the sinking of the Moscow battleship, then a withdrawal from the Snake Island, then the great, withdrawal from the Kharkiv area, then the capture of Liman, and now this bridge. Essentially, it's an emasculation of Putin personally, considering that this has been a major kind of political macho project for him. Much of his, political capital was invested in the bridge, over which he, as you just showed, so triumphantly drove that diesel truck in 2018. It's an important.
But this was also the most well-defended, state-of-the-art bridge as well. So what went wrong? I mean, are questions being asked about, for example, why the FSB didn't know about some sort of attack, if indeed it was an attack and a truck bomb, as Moscow says?
It's a very good question. By all accounts, the Russians were expecting some kind of an aerial assault. They were expecting the Ukrainians to use missiles to lob against the bridge, and we are now discovering that it may have been a suicide attack. It's too early to say, but it appears that the driver of the truck where the explosives were said to have been hidden probably most likely perished in this. And, we are discovering that this may have been a native of Crimea, maybe a Crimean Tatar. The Russians are already investigating his family, but by all accounts, this was a brilliant operation. And without saying this much, the Ukrainians are pretty much not indeed, but in sort of by virtue of fact, taking credit for claiming.
And just briefly, 13 million tons of cargo, I think, transported over this bridge a week. What impact is this going to have on the supply lines for Russian forces, not only in Crimea, but also on the Kherson front as well?
Well, this is like we're just learning what the extent of the damage is. But even if it takes a few weeks to fix this bridge, this will severely hamper the already flagging military effort by the Russians. And if this could mean disabling both the real Crimean bridge and the figurative land bridge from the east, if the Ukrainians decide to attack this long stretch, the 250-kilometer stretch of border between the east and the west fronts, this would effectively mean cutting off the entire Kherson army.
Okay, and just a final thought. I mean, obviously Ukraine braced for some sort of retaliation now. There have been overnight attacks, missile attacks in Zaporizhia. What is your thinking about what the next stages are?
Ukrainians are pretty much used to this. The Russians have already thrown at us what they could. They're still throwing everything at us short of a nuclear weapon. We're ready to face the music. Ukrainians have said that they will do whatever it takes to achieve final victory, so we are not cowed.
Peter Zalmayev in Kyiv, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now,